Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we would like to talk about difficult issues and challenges in Japanese society. My name is Ako Mitani. My co-presenter is Sonoe Koyama. We have two topics. The first is serious issues with the Japanese environment, and the second is severe Japanese working issues. Let's start our presentation. I'm Ako Mitani. My topic is serious issues with the Japanese environment. There are a lot of environmental problems in Japan. From June until September, all of us as extension students returned to Japan. A big earthquake occurred in July, and then a big typhoons occurred in September. Both of them were very scary for me and for Japanese. So I would like to talk about typhoons and earthquakes. Do you know how many typhoons occur in Japan each year on average?
No.
How about earthquakes?
No.
In fact, about 25 typhoons and about 6,000 earthquakes occur in Japan each year on average. However, it does not mean that all typhoons and earthquakes cause damage. Let's look now at just typhoons. A big typhoon occurs in Japan once every several years. For example, August 2050, the maximum wind speed was 163 miles per hour, and the rainfall amounted to 1.5 feet. Another example is Typhoon September 2018. The maximum wind speed was 130 miles per hour, and it had recorded high tides. This typhoon occurred the same day I left for Japan to come to Spokane, so we couldn't use the airport near our university. In addition to severe wind and storm water, typhoons also cause secondary disasters. One of the secondary disasters of typhoon is landslides. Japan has many mountains and hills. Rock and earth fall unexpectedly down steep slope due to the heavy rain. Houses and buildings are damaged. Another secondary disaster of typhoons is storm surge. This means that the seawater level abnormally increases. In fact, I remember this vividly. When I was 6 years old, the front of my house was submerged and we had to evacuate. Japan has developed a huge system to protect ourselves from typhoons damage. For example, when an evacuation is required, our cell phone sounds an alarm. Let's actually listen. Oh my God. Why? No, I can't.
It's frozen.
No. Look at this.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why. So let's just try it. Go ahead and try this. Maybe you can hear it. Yeah. And then when you finish this.
Okay. When such an alarm, we are very scary. Another system is a tidal embankment. The tidal embankment is built near the seashore. A tidal embankment prevents a large waves and storm surges. When I was a high school student, one of these was built in front of my house, so I was relieved. If you come to Japan, you can see norimen. Norimen is an artificial inclined surface. Norimen is made to prevent landslide. Next, I would like to talk about earthquakes. Earthquakes are natural disasters we are most afraid of. Now, I will talk about two severe earthquakes that occurred in the past. First is the Great Hanshin-Awaji earthquake in Kobe. This earthquake happened on January 17, 1995. About 50,000 people died or were injured in this earthquake of magnitude of 7.2. This earthquake, my mother experienced this earthquake when she was pregnant with my sister. My sister was born the next day. Next is the Great East Japan earthquake near the Fukushima Prefecture. This earthquake happened on March 11, 2011. About 18,500 people died or went missing in this earthquake of magnitude 9.0. Many people also lost their lives because of the secondary disasters of these earthquakes. For example, the greatest damage of the Great Hanshin-Awaji earthquake came from fire. In Japan, there were many wooden buildings at that time, so fire damage spread easily. Another example is tsunami. The Great East Japan earthquake caused a large tsunami. The tsunami shocked Japan. There are several ways to protect ourselves from earthquakes. For example, the early warning is an alarm over a cell phone. Before earthquakes comes, let's actually listen.
地震です。地震です。地震です。
We are very scared and we have to protect ourselves by getting under a desk or table. Before the actual earthquake, we should prepare an emergency kit. This is a bag containing the minimum necessary items such as flashlight and emergency provision to use in the event of the disasters. In conclusion, typhoons and earthquakes are natural disasters, so we can't predict them and we can't avoid them. Various things were developed to protect ourselves, but you have to be responsible to protect yourselves. Thank you for listening. next presenter is Sonoe Koyama. She will talk about severe Japanese working issues. 頑張る。
Thank you for sharing about environmental issues, Ako. Again, my name is Sonoe Koyama. I'm going to talk about severe Japanese working issues. Do you like working? No? What do you work for? Many people. Thank you. Many people work to help other people or to make money. Some countries have bad working environment, such as long working hours and low salary. Well, how about Japan? Japan is a developed country, but it also has some severe working issues. Now, I'm going to talk about 3 severe working issues in Japan: karoshi, long working hours, and difficult job hunting issues. First severe Japanese working issue is karoshi. Karoshi means extremely long working hours and death caused by overwork. You can find this word in the latest English dictionary. There are some effects of karoshi, such as accident stress, lack of sleep, and being very tired because of being very tired mentally and physically, causing stress, sadness, and suicide, because they are absolutely exhausted and they cannot help themselves. Now, let me talk about one woman who died in 2015 because of overwork. Her name was Matsui Takahashi, and she died when she was only 24 years old. She had a high educational background, and after graduating from a university, she worked at one of the biggest advertising agency in Japan called Dentsu. She suffered from overtime working and exceeded her monthly time by 105 hours. In addition, she was harassed by her supervisor. It was an absolutely terrible situation, wasn't it? Yes. Now, let me talk about abuse of power. This problem can be the reason of karoshi. There are some bosses who force too many tasks and speak harshly to their subordinates, abuse their power. They say disagreeable things and don't respect their subordinates. As a result, the employees feel very stressed. Now, I'd like to expand on overtime work. Recently, this problem is featured in magazines, news, and newspapers in Japan. For example, the employees must go to their workplace early in the morning and work late into the night because they must finish their work that they were given by the deadline. Also, most Japanese people feel bad for returning their home earlier than their boss. It may be the Japanese national character, but it might have bad influence such as low labor productivity. Now, let's focus on low labor productivity. Most Japanese people are hard workers, but sometimes they waste their time and energy to pursue perfection. and they have many tasks that cannot be finished without working overtime. As a result, their motivation and concentration will be lost. This problem became bigger and bigger, and many people know about these problems. So, many companies have tried to change how they work. For example, one company tried to turn off the lights, turn off the office electricity at 10 p.m. to prevent employees from overworking. Other companies set non-overtime work days, which are very good for employees' motivation. Also, making appropriate time management helps the employees not to think that working for a long time is a good thing. Now, I'd like to look at job hunting issues. Some parts of this problem are different from other countries. If you get older, it is more difficult to get a new job because the employer thinks this person will work for only a few years, or the employer have bad image for the older people. They have some personal problems in their old workplace, such as no patience, not a hard worker, not having special skills, and so on. I have spoken about job hunting issues of older people. Finally, let me move on to internship problems of young university students. I will give some examples. The employer gives poor treatment to the students because they are not real workers. In recent years, the number of the people who are asked to do miscellaneous duties is increasing. And one of the biggest problems is some internships offer not real work experience, but the only oral explanation on the company. Some companies give them salaries, others don't. To summarize my presentation, Japan is a developed country, but it also has some working issues such as karoshi, long working hours, and difficult job hunting issues. Many Japanese people want to have shorter working hours and respectful bosses, and opportunity to get new job or have real work experience. I hope that Japanese working conditions will improve. Thank you for listening.
Now you know that there are serious problems in Japan. We can't control nature, but we can make a better environment, and we can prepare for disasters.
Not all people suffer from these problems. They are not so common. I love that Japanese people are reliable and hard workers, so we want to make a bright and spirited future with everyone. Thank you for listening.